All right, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And for the Sagittarius that I'm reading for today, I'm seeing that there's some type of pretty intense situation here that could feel like it's at quite a bit of a standstill, the Seven of Wands in the overall energy. Um, I do see it balancing out over time, but as it balances out, there could be quite a bit of pain that comes up for you as you sort of work through this situation. And ultimately, I see you learning more about yourself and others and really reflecting on some pretty big spiritual lessons here. But this could be a bit of a difficult situation for you if you're resonating with this. Now, I'm going to dive deeper into these energies in a moment. But before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for receiving this reading. If you would like a personal reading, I love doing personal readings, and you can email me down below in the description box for one. And if this reading resonates with you, please take a second to like and subscribe. I also just want to take a moment to tell you that I am offering a tarot class that starts in February, the beginning of February. And so if you're listening to this reading in January of 2025 and you're interested in taking a class with me, please email me for more information or check out my community page. I'm really excited to share my skills with you all and to connect deeper in this way. The classes will be live on Zoom for 8 weeks. And I'm offering it at a sliding scale rate, so it's very accessible for everyone. So again, if you're interested in that, you can email me or check out my community page for more information. But let's go ahead here, Sagittarius, and see what we're working with. So like I said, the Seven of Wands is in the overall energy, which represents a certain blockage. And for the Seven of Wands, we get the Knight of Cups, the Ten of Wands, the Page of Wands. Yeah, there's something coming through about your heart space and how you feel, something internal to you that's pretty heavy, that kind of prevents you from opening up to other people, to other things, and also to receiving energies from other people. It's sort of like there's this invisible energetic shield between you and whatever's trying to come towards you from the heart, and it has something to do with your heart space, how you feel about things. It looks pretty deeply affected here. In the recent past, we have the Justice card, the Temperance card, and the Queen of Swords. So someone could have said or done something, or you could have had some type of communication with someone that really shook your equilibrium here. Let's see. For Justice, we have the Sun, the Four of Pentacles, the King of Cups. So there's something here that I see you kind of had your heart set on as being your happiness. Like, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to pursue. This is where I'm going to find my happiness. This is what love means to me. This sort of represented everything to you in your emotional world, but with it being in the past and with the Four of Pentacles being here, which is about holding on, there could be a part of your heart that sort of stayed in the past. You saw this thing as your happiness, and once it phased out of your life, cycled out in some way, I see you still holding on to it over quite a bit of time. And over time, as this left your life, but you were still holding on to it, what you ended up with after this faded away was a much more practical, logical, almost like cold exterior, because your happiness and your love and your joy was all kind of located there in the past. And so as time passed, your heart stayed there, your happiness stayed there, but your body and your life sort of moved forward across time. Let's take a look at that Temperance card, the Ten of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles. I see you looking towards the future and saying, you know what, it's okay, I'm going to move on, there are new opportunities, possibly new things did come in for you that could have made you very happy, or could have at least been an opportunity for happiness. But again, because your heart space and your emotional world is there in the past, it could have felt kind of hard for you to step into those new beginnings and step towards the new energy. I kind of see you having this energy of like, I'm really fine by myself, or, I can take care of things by myself, which possibly unknowing to you was one way that you were kind of closed off to those new things coming in. Even if you didn't necessarily mean to be, it could have felt like I'm fine by myself, and it could have felt a little bit lonely. Interesting. For the Queen of Swords, we get the King of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the Lovers. You're showing me that you cut something off because it was misaligned with you. Like, someone was way ahead of the other energy. I don't know if that was you being more ahead, but you're kind of showing it to me as this thing was not on my level. It wasn't offering what I was really looking for. You could have like a certain expectation for what it is that you're looking for, what it is that's going to speak to you on a soul level. And you could be kind of holding out for whatever that is. And so if things are coming in that feel like they're not offering the whole package, I see you kind of cutting it off and saying, no, I don't need that. But again, it comes from that sort of logical place where you're sort of disconnected to that sense of happiness, of excitement, all of those things. They're not really showing up there. And so you're cutting it off from that more logical place and saying, well, that wouldn't align with me anyway. Or I almost see you poking holes in things, maybe even subconsciously, and just saying, look at all the reasons why this wouldn't make sense. And it makes sense that you're approaching it that way, because if your heart isn't present, you're going to resort to looking at it through the mind. And the mind's going to show you all the reasons, one by one, why it wouldn't work logically. But the heart doesn't work logically. The heart works according to what it feels. And so there's a part of you that might need to step into that heart space a little bit more, open up a little bit more, because over time, I see you getting a little bit more and more disconnected from that part of yourself. And I do see you kind of becoming conscious of that in the current energy. It's like you become aware of a lot of pain that you've been moving through, and you're trying to balance it out. You're trying to approach it, and it comes in like all of a sudden. You're like, oh, that's what that is. It's almost like you're connecting to your heart. You're looking back for it, and you're realizing, oh my gosh, I left my heart all the way over there. And you're trying to balance out all of a sudden. Let's take a look at that pain there with the Three of Swords. There it is. There's that recognition of, I left my happiness over there. And it comes through very honestly. Like, you kind of show me, yeah, I did do that. And you're recognizing that because you're finally able to realize something about this experience. Maybe enough time has passed and you've done enough healing, or you've just, you've uncovered every rock. Maybe something's opening up your heart and you're starting to realize, oh, I want my heart back, from where I left it. And you're starting to realize, with no judgment, it's just very honest of, I really thought that my happiness was there, and that's what I'm working with. And it's almost like as soon as you come online and recognize that you thought your happiness was going to be there, even if you don't do anything about it, but just as soon as you start to accept that that was the perspective that you had, it allows you to align a lot more with what you feel, because possibly for the first time, you're being honest about how you define your happiness and what's going on with your heart. And it allows you to sort of balance out immediately. Not to completely heal, but just that awareness of where you left your heart allows you to come up to speed. There's a lot of pain attached to your stability that this whole sort of thing that you went through could have eventually affected your stability, or as you approached material things, financial things, things relating to your stability, um, they maybe unconsciously became affected because of this whole thing going on in your emotional world. It's like this pain sort of seeped out and affected everything in your life. And maybe you're aligning not only with your heart, but with that sort of forward movement in your career or something like that. And it's starting to show you the ways that maybe you haven't been present, because you're starting to see where things slipped through the cracks because of that pain. But I see you just coming back online in this really present way for the first time in a very long time. And once you come back online, you start to confront all this pain and all of this disappointment. It's like it finally has room to come up to the surface and be acknowledged. And you're sort of acknowledging all of it. You're acknowledging the pain. You're acknowledging the happiness. You're acknowledging the disappointment. You're acknowledging the regret. Um, about what you thought something was going to be, and maybe the ways that it didn't pan out and where it was you felt disappointed. It's almost like you're having a conversation with yourself about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sort of all of it comes up to be reckoned with. And some of it's really painful, and others of it are just parts of who you are. Um, yeah, interesting. Pretty deep reading here. Let's take a look at this Knight of Swords in the near future. We have the Magician, the High Priestess, the Ten of Wands. There's something you could be wanting to manifest, and it comes through as kind of difficult, like you're waiting for this thing to happen. It almost looks like a big request that you put in with the universe, and you're like, where is it and when is it going to happen? And there's all this anxiety. You could also be attached to like a certain timeline or a certain outcome here with whatever it is. And I'm seeing a lot of this other stuff that you're moving through, all of this processing and understanding the way that you were hurt, and understanding that things weren't aligned for you and that you left your heart in the past and all of this stuff. And then as you look to the future, you're like, okay, well, when are things going to get moving? And it's like, well, you have a lot you need to heal here. You have a lot that needs to be processed out. Everything's going to happen in the right timing. Everything's going to come. But if it's not here yet, it's because you're meant to be confronting that stuff from the past. I kind of see you saying, well, I don't want to deal with anything from the past. I'm ready for the future. And it comes through as a little bit deceptive because it's actually all linked. Like the things coming in are going to come in when you've made room, and you're going to have made room when you've processed out that painful stuff. And I see you kind of wanting to skip ahead a little bit, and form those new connections and go on those new adventures. And there's quite a bit that you're rolling around with in the past, that's looking to be dealt with first. Ultimately, I do see you moving towards new things and feeling really good about those things. In the near future, we have the Queen of Wands. When I clarified the Queen of Wands, I got the Queen of Wands. I got the Page of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, the Nine of Cups. So there's going to be new beginnings for you that are going to feel really good, going to feel really fulfilling, and you are going to move towards those things. But there's a little bit more inner work that is asking to be done, and it's just important that you don't cut corners with that inner work. Let's get 3 cards of advice from the universe here. The Chariot, the Nine of Swords, the Emperor. You're well on your way. If you're listening to this and you're doubting yourself and you're feeling anxiety and you're, feeling this lack of confidence and you're like, is everything even going to work out? I've been through so much. Everything has sucked. Spirit's saying, no, you're on your way. You don't need to be anxious. You're very much on your path and you're very capable and everything's going to come together for you. There's just a lot going on within you and it's okay to take the time. Time does not exist at the level of energy. It doesn't have to be done on a certain timeline. You can take as much time as you need to heal through these experiences that you had, and you're not missing out on anything. You are on your path. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that this helps. I hope that this resonates, and I'll see you next time.